How did you start working for St. Francis?
So I've been working at St. Francis House for about 4.5 years now. Really, I just got lucky. I finished grad school for social work here at BU. I left Boston for a little while, and when I came back, I just started looking online. I worked a lot with homeless women at other women's-only shelters, so that's kind of been my passion for a while. I've worked as a domestic violence advocate, and I saw that they had an opening for the person to work in the Women's Center. Applied for the job, and a couple weeks later I was here. So I've been here since mid-2014.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what is your job description?
So I'm the Women's Center supervisor, and I'm also one of the mental health clinicians here. So I kind of do a little bit of both. In the morning, the Women's Center is open. It's open every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 to 12:30. In that time, anywhere from 10 to 50 women will come in. And we have a phone, TV, computers. They're able to sit and have coffee, snacks. I have access to some things like tea passes, toiletries, clothing, and just sort of it kind of acts as a drop-in center where I'm available to chat with the ladies as needed and sort of help connect with resources, answer any questions, but also just to like hand out shampoo and socks and things like that.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, I can meet with folks individually, kind of for more like one-on-one counseling.
Okay, great. So what are the standard donated products you receive at St. Francis?
Lots of different things. It's kind of nice because you never really know what's going to come in. I do have a budget, so I'm able to purchase some things as needed as well. So we get mostly, I would say, shampoo, conditioner, lotion, body wash, razors. We do get some feminine hygiene products, so like pads, tampons, and liners, things like that. We get in some clothing. And then other people will donate things like makeup or nail polish, purses, kind of the more fun items that we can give out as well. But day to day, I try to have those like basic items for people.
Okay. And so you said, so are other hygiene products aside from like feminine hygiene products, are there donated more than feminine hygiene products? Or?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes from what people think of. Also, a lot of people will give things. So when you travel and you get those small size like shampoo, conditioner, lotion, a lot of people bring those in, and pads and tampons and things like that are expensive, and they're not things that folks always think about either purchasing or donating. If I'm going through my apartment and I want to give in a bunch of like shampoos and conditioners that I got at hotels throughout the past few years, I'm not generally also thinking about, well, maybe I should go through my, pads and tampons, other feminine hygiene products. So I think it's just not on people's minds as much. It's definitely a need that homeless women face. I mean, all women need these products. Most women need these products, and they're just not as readily available. They're really expensive for folks to get, and people really need them. So I think it's not always something that's on people's minds, but it's definitely a necessity for our folks.
Okay, so if a homeless woman doesn't have any access to any sanitary products, what are her alternative options, and are these options safe for her?
So we definitely try to make them as available as possible here. I've actually been really lucky in the past couple of years that I've gotten a lot of them donated. Various groups, either at universities or other places, will kind of collect them and donate them. But it is one of the things that I make sure we do purchase if we don't have. So I think women know that they can come here. I have a big box of pads, tampons, and liners, and as they come in, and I try to give as much choice as possible, the same way I can pick out what I use. It's a personal item. I try to let the ladies kind of go through the box, pick whatever it is that they would like to use. Our resource center, which is one level down, which is available for men and women, also has toiletries, including feminine hygiene products. So we try to have them available in the building. Some folks are going to get creative and use what they need to use, whether sometimes it's just a fresh pair of underwear or change of clothes if needed. But it's definitely not something that people can get super easily, although I think a lot of the shelters do try to give them out. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. So, okay, you already said. So, can you give me an approximate of how much hygiene products you guys give out to women? I remember I read this study how one shelter can only give out two pads per cycle. And that's obviously not enough for some women. Is that the same case here?
No, I actually don't have a set number. I mean, if somebody's coming in every day and like grabbing handfuls or kind of taking advantage of it, I'll try to limit it, but I don't really have a set number. I feel like it's one of those items that if you're asking for it, you need it. And honestly, if you're sharing it with friends or family members, like, great. So there's lots of things where if you ask for a shampoo, I'm going to give you one. If you say I'd really like two, I'll give you another one. Not that big a deal. Pads, tampons, liners, I kind of just hold out the box and say help yourself. Most people will grab a handful, but I understand that it's something that if you need it, you need it.
Yeah.
they can be expensive, and it's something that really affects just the way you feel overall. I mean, I think everyone's had an experience at some point of like needing a tampon and not having one, or just especially if you don't have access to showers, things like that, which we also do have available here, so someone can kind of get cleaned up if they need to. But yeah, to answer that question, I try really hard not to limit it based on, what we have available, but it really hasn't been an issue before. Every now and again, someone will ask for like a full box, and generally the answer to that is no, but kind of grab a handful and, kind of go from there.
Okay, so how can this problem be solved? I remember you were saying how people don't typically think of donating hygiene products because they're expensive or there's just not one of the things on their mind. How can people start to realize that feminine hygiene products are just as important as deodorant or toothpaste?
I think just talking about it more, there is a stigma around these kind of products, and there really shouldn't be. I mean, like half the population uses them, but it's not something we talk about. I mean, I think even in day-to-day life, if you need to use one, you kind of hide it. You don't want people to see that you're using them when everyone is using them, and they're an important item. So I think just talking about it when people ask what they can donate. I used to say, and I don't know why, but I would say shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, lotion, toothbrush, toothpaste, and I wouldn't mention them. Can't tell you why. I think I just wasn't really thinking about it, but now I try to be really intentional, and I include anytime somebody asks what can we donate, I make sure to include that as well. And I just think talking about it, people get uncomfortable talking about tampons, people get uncomfortable talking about women's health in general, just in our society, and I think the more people talk about it, like if you're uncomfortable talking about it as a provider, somebody who needs it doesn't want to ask the question. I mean, it's the same reason that behind you I have a big box of condoms, because I think people should have access to things that they need that they may not want to ask for, and just be able to sort of help themselves. I feel like I don't need to ask somebody. If I need a tampon, I'm able to find one, and everyone should be able to have that, benefit.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have. You can stop recording, PJ.